Join me this October where I'll be celebrating Halloween. 31 zine reviews in 31 days. Joining me will be my friend Beanie. Hi, welcome to another edition of Halloween. Beanie, how are we doing? We're about almost halfway through our month. How are you feeling? Right on. Okay, let's get into it. Previously, I had reviewed Craftwork by Will Purvis, and this is a follow-up and an expansion in addition to that. It's called FaeCraft. And if you remember in the previous one, and I'll put a link to it above, is in Craftwork, it was kind of like a strap-on of skills to take a classless OSR game and build some skills and I guess special abilities, a little bit like classes into it, but not trying to lock you into it. FaeCraft is similar in scope, and that you also can use it to build Fae type characters. So rather than just having a human, there's options for other things, other Fae creatures that you could incorporate into your world, and they get their own skills and that kind of thing. And you could also use it to build NPCs or generally just kind of monsters within the world. So let's there's a lot of evocative text here. Will is very good at writing that. Let's just read the first one. These are Fae. They could already exist, creeping through the corners of your imagination into the day-to-day world of castles, dungeons, and bustling cities, and trackless wilderness, the world of the wizard, thief, and fighter. But next to this world, just alongside, a breath away or two others, separated by a veil of gossamer possibility. Hard to penetrate, almost impossible to detect, but thin in places, easy to pass or slip through, lie in the realms of light and dark. These worlds overlay our own, mirror mountain, river, and sea, and hidden here are the folk of Fae and Shadow. So there's more to it. Great writing. FaeCraft is a way to generate fantastic Fae creatures. It is a companion to and expansion of Craftwork, a character generation and playstyle system. They grew up together, and while you don't need Craftwork to use FaeCraft, they work well together. Table of contents, we have the different types of craft. So once again, using that naming convention of the craft, Dreamcraft, Giantcraft, Mould Craft, Skincraft, Minotaurs, Scavengers, the Small, and Stone Folk. Stone Folk. Okay, Howcraft. I will say, in reading these, there's a lot of crafts and stuff like that, and it can get kind of confusing at points, but once you kind of get the general sense of, you know, the play on words of crafts, and in the past one witchcraft, and now it's Howcraft, and you kind of get it, and it's, you know, it's a nice play on words, but it can be confusing at points. You read crafts an awful lot. Creating a character, so I mean, this is like, depending on which OSR type of game you're playing, I would say it's very similar, but there's some recommendations on when to add skills and that kind of thing, and then how to also level up. There's the FaeCraft of, there's a 1d4 of, you can choose Dreamcraft, Giantcraft, Mould Craft, Skincraft. So let's go into what these different versions are. So Dreamcraft, weavers of dreams, thieves of memory, archaeologists who pluck the past from between the ears of the unsuspecting. These are the Dreamcrafters. They are hermits, heroes, guardians of history, and hawkers of the fantastic in markets across the world. When a creature is touched by the shadow, the light, and the mundane realms, a seed is planted. After that, it starts to grow, and the creature grows with it. Some giants are close in size to ourselves and pursue livelihoods we recognize. Others keep growing and become unrecognizable in their immensity. Mouldcraft. The Springtail alchemist brought much of the world, but nothing more astounding than the arcane art of concocting mold, fungus, and insects. In a few generations since their diaspora, this specialized knowledge has crept into both Fae and mundane realms. Skincraft. From a touch of the wild to Fae cursed, some folk, Fae and mundane, have a form or forms thrust upon them, shapes that they may or may not desire. Some learn to control the shifts, while others succumb to unfathomable tides that draw them into the unimaginable places. And then there are unique faes that are their own species, and that do not kind of, you are those types of creatures. So those are minotaurs, scavengers, the small, and the stone folk, as well as the Fae step and the shapeshift. So which Fae? And Will just says that Fae are intimately tied to place and bioregion. The world has, his world has a north with subarctic alpine and boreal forest biomes similar to our particular Earth. It also has the south, consisting of biomes similar to the Mediterranean region, coastal California, and North Africa. Your Fae will reflect your world. So it's leaving it very open-ended for you to take some of these and like build them in. But there's like northern areas, southern areas, and then unique. And then moving on to the next section is Dreamcraft. So similar to the scope in that you would have seen in Craftwork, we have the different areas of Dreamcraft, and in each one of them there's special abilities that you would get and powers that are then therefore described. And there's also, generally speaking, a random number on the side, so you can choose them randomly. I think it's also said that you can choose if you actually want to see your character be a certain type. And then there's the giant craft, once again, progression, abilities, traits that your character would have that you can roll randomly. So for the giants, let's maybe delve in here. You can have an animal companion. You can hurl large objects, indiscriminate digestion, so you can eat and gain nutrition from almost any source. Natural features, bark-like skin, pine bough hair, etc. True sight, they can see through illusions, fakery, curses, etc. And twist the land. The giant can awaken small areas of the forest, stone, and rock and bend it, convince it to change shape or rearrange itself. Really gigantic traits. So you can bellow. The giant's roar or scream has unusual effects. Those in the path fall down or are deafened or overcome by the odors of the last meal. Giant animal companion. They get a new giant animal companion of their current animal companion grows to the giant size. Long sleep, big body, big sleep. When they choose, the giant can sleep for days, weeks, or months. While asleep, they seem to be part of the land, and the contours of their body appear at the contours as the contours of the rock and earth. Serious skill, the giant doubles their proficiency bonus in a single skill. Stomp, stomp, stomp. With the pounding of their feet, the giant forces the earth to tremor, shake, knocking nearby creatures to the ground. And true form, but sometimes the giant can alter a thing, a creature, or a place to reflect its true nature. This can remove illusions, polymorph effects, shape change, or other magical alterations, curses, etc. Mould Craft, as we talked about, that's the character combining multiple concoctions together to forge unique creations such as puffballs, expel acid spores, a cloud of flies that heals compatriots, or fungal warriors, dark as pitch, emitting odors that cause fear. So a lot of these are kind of fun, cool things that I can see, a little bit odd of magic kind of being thrown into the mix. It's kind of a fun piece. And, cloud of gnats, dung messenger, earworm, evoke maggots, swarm of hornets. What other kind of fun ones are on here? A cohort of minute figures, fungal warriors, puffball, slime molds, wall of mushrooms, camouflage, translucent. Just kind of fun. Once again, you can throw this into any of your OSR games. Skincraft. These are the characters that change and their skin twists, and the shapeshifters. Something precipitates the change in form. It cannot be resisted until the character gains a modicum of control. A change agent drawn from the story is often more satisfying. So here's some precipitating agents: a substance, which could be liquid, food, metal, a celestial event, the presence of a type of creature, a wound, an emotional state, a type of location, and here's some modicums of control: fearsome strength, frightening visage, unnatural speed, heightened senses, great leaps and bounds, night vision, fear of a type of object, berserk rage, increased resistance to a type of weapon, increased vulnerability to a type of weapon, increased resistance to a material or a substance, increased vulnerability to a material or a substance. So those are skin twists. And then a special creature was minotaurs. And they have the abilities to gore, charge, berserk attack. And the Minotaur may have a number of marks equal to or less than their proficiency. They have Bull Rush on a charge with at least one other, all gain 1 extra attack. Ethereal Sight. The Minotaur can see beings that are otherwise unseen. Quick. The Minotaur moves more quickly and jumps farther. Scout. The Minotaur is gifted at assessing routes, ambushes, or other obstacles ahead. Thwart Death. The Minotaur may not be killed by non-magical items. Wayfinding. The character rarely loses the trail, gets lost, or is confused about directions. And they also have shamanic powers. A character has a total number of uses of powers equal to the Minotaur level plus proficiency. The power can be used multiple times until restored. And here's some shamanic powers: Boundless Rage, Curse of the Fae, Ease Passage, Fertility, Maze of Confusion, Milk and Honey, Protect the Herd, and Turn Undead. The next section is Scavengers, and they have the abilities of Spectral Appendage, Hand, Claw, or Paw. They can pierce the veil, Shadow. Here's some powers of finding of the skin or of skin. Fey Lights. They can evoke fairy lights that dance and move on command. Frightening Visage. Assume a horrifying posture or grotesque appearance to all foes who gaze upon them. Ghostly Weapon. Manifest a weapon that fights alongside the scavenger. Attacks are made with proficiency and damage as the weapon. Mend. Rend flesh. Either heal or wound a nearby creature. Mirror Images. This creates a number of duplicate images of the character equal to proficiency. Any effects or attacks targeting the character suffer from disadvantage. Pluck. Steal one ability, attack, or feature from a defeated foe and save it to be used once. If a new plucked ability is desired before a plucked ability is used, the new ability replaces the previous one. Here's some of the powers of the finding of bone. Amalgam. Casting this stops shift before it ends, allowing the character the ability to assume fantastic, combined, and chimerical forms. Assume shape. Scavengers may steal the shape of a defeated foe and store it and adopt it for themselves. Ease into death. Touching the target that is unconscious moves it to death. Instill. Create a magic item which contains a plucked ability. Luck. Add a proficiency bonus to a roll of dice. Power of Sinew. The scavenger may save a token of the defeated foe in order to manifest a puppet form of the foe. The puppet is not undead, and it follows simple commands, retains most physical powers or abilities, and deteriorates easily. So kind of a fun version of a Fae, and then small. So, these are, as they show here, mice, etc. Moles, hedgehog, turtle, rabbit, hare, watership down kind of things. Brownies, gremlins, and tiny little spells that go along with them. And then stone folk. These are Fae that have strong flesh, granite flesh, stone flesh. Their abilities are not only the flesh, but the sleep. They retain the memory of the earth itself. They may transform into a rock or a boulder of a size similar to their own. While in this form, they may not move, require neither sustenance nor air, and are not detectable by normal means. Awakening from the form takes some time. The duration of the transformation is up to as many days or weeks, equal to the proficiency times the level of the stone folk. Once again, there's different powers. They can detect slopes, quartz path, which is glowing chips in the earth shimmer in the right direction. True north, yep, that's the way. It will tell you story of the stone. It will tell you what it saw slowly. Animate fossil, an ancient thing at your bidding. Folds of the earth, it hides all of you for the night. And there's igneous, heat stone, mold rock, pebble spray, mass movement, lava burst, wall of stone, metamorphic, stone speech, rock skin, lycanthropy, turn it to stone, create gargoyle, summon earth elemental. And then similar to the craft work, there's some good skills that you can add at the end that if you don't see what you like in any of the other areas, that you could incorporate them, as well as animal companion guidelines. There's some backgrounds that you can incorporate, everything from herder to farmer to villager, townsfolk, merchant, and then some guidance on procedural characters and when you could incorporate the crafts and some examples. So FaeCraft, pretty cool. It offers a little bit more in-depth of, I guess, unique creatures that could be used or played within an OSR style game, building upon the work and craft work, similar scope. So they partner very well together. So if you wanted to not only build up your skills, but also build up the different types of characters and the magic that are associated with those types of characters, here's an interesting opportunity. So Will Purvis of the both Craftwork and FaeCraft. Here's the previous one. Once again, I'll put the link in the description for that one. So they partner very well together. If you look, I think Craftwork might be a little bit thicker. Let's see how many pages that is. 40 plus the cover. And oh no, they're both the same. 40 plus the cover. So go check them out. I'll put links in the description. And once again, for Halloween, if you have not entered yet, go to my website, daikugames.com, put your name in there to sign up for our mailing list, and be entered in for a $200 draw for store credit at Exalted Funeral. So what do you think, Beanie? We're getting closer. It is fun. Okay, cool. That's it for today.
Happy Halloween.